I am live, and I'm live early, and my hair's messy. That's okay. We'll deal with that. So, welcome to the 31 days of live horror. That's because we are going to be talking today about one of my favorite companies, as you guys know. It actually is my moniker on Twitter, and that's Vinegar Syndrome. So, tell you what, let's let people know. I've done this before, and since there doesn't seem to be anybody in here quite yet, let's people know that we're here. All right. So we're gonna go to there, behind the curtain. Checking connection, and I'm now live. All right. Well, I'm double live. Hi there. I am live right now on the for in the movie library to talk about Disconnected and Vinegar Syndrome horror in general. And I picked out a lucky number 13 horror list of Vinegar Syndrome titles, horror titles that you should have. So if you want to join me, I'm live right now in the movie club. See you soon. So there we go. Hey everybody. My cat has followed me. Tonight, before we get into anything else, we're going to be talking about Vinegar Syndrome stuff. And as you just heard me say right there, the movie that I watched last night was this one right here. And this is one that, if I'm correct, this is one that's sold out. Hey Ryan, welcome, dude. Are you serious? Like I've got the, those video, Disney treasures. I have it here on Disney treasures, but I would definitely upgrade. I would never get rid of my treasures though. I finally have a complete, well, a couple years ago, a complete Disney treasures collection. So it costs a bit, to be honest with you. But that, by the way, is one. It's a favorite of mine. I actually saw the Scarecrow Romney March. They showed it in our theater once, actually. It actually showed a few times. It was one of those that kind of made its way back. But I saw it in theater once, and the Scarecrow's laugh scared the crap out of me back in the day. So that is definitely one. I'm not in the Disney Movie Club right now, but that will make me go back to the Disney Movie Club, and that's the truth. The movie we're talking about today, we're talking about Vinegar Syndrome in general today. But first, as always, there's got to be a movie, right? Because it is the 31 Days of Horror, and that is Disconnected. Now, Disconnected was one of the titles that I bought during the last Vinegar Syndrome sale. It's one of those that I looked at over and over again, and I knew Cycles in Love by the director, and I was like so on Cycles in Love. Like I haven't even bought that one yet, but this one like intrigued me, and I'm glad I did because I'm definitely getting back into the club, and I'm glad I did because one, they were low, like the slipcover version was low. What we didn't know at the time was that there was no other version. So when this thing sold out, it was gone. So you can correct me if I'm wrong, but this one was limited in the way that it wasn't just the slip that was limited; it didn't come back in. This is what they had the rights for. So if you got disconnected, you're lucky because you got one of the. How many did they do of these? 2,000 copies of this movie Blu-rays that exist. There are no standard editions of this film. And it's by Gorman Bechard. And if that name sounds familiar, it's because of the movie that I just mentioned to you, Cycles in Love. A lot of people know that film. Cycles in Love stars Carmen Cobianco, who was in this film as well in a smaller role as a police detective. Carmen Cobianco is an actor that you normally see in Bechard's films. He uses him quite a bit, actually. They're really good friends. There's actually, I think, an interview with him on here, which I didn't get a chance to watch yet, but I did watch the interview with the director, which is really good. Bechard is a really charismatic guy, and he seems like one of those guys you can sit down and have a drink with type of thing. So, has anybody here seen this film? Before I go any farther or describe it or anything like that, has anybody here seen Disconnected? Or even have it? Like, let me know. Da 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 da. So, since nobody's saying anything, I'm going to assume that's that's a no. Haven't seen it. It's an interesting film. Now, I will tell you right off the bat, by far and large, most of the acting in this film pretty bad. The guy that plays the lead guy, the killer, because it's not a there's no like there is a mystery to it, but not in the way you think. I might go into spoiler territory here because I do kind of want to talk about the ending, because this is what it's what makes the film. Ooh, I may mention. Do you mind if I spoil it a bit? Well, one thing that you will know right away is that basically there's a girl, and she's the one like actual cast member aside from Carmen Cobianca that Capabianca that I know is what's her name, Rains, right? Yeah, Frances Rains. And if you're before you ask, Frances Rains, yes, she is related to Cloud Rains. She's actually Cloud Rains' niece. Yeah, so the guy that made the Invisible Man, well, his niece stars in this, and you see a lot more of her than you see, obviously, of an Invisible Man. She was in other films, so if you're a horror fan, you've got Arrow's The Mutilator, for instance, otherwise known as Fall Break. Then, oh, thanks. That was gonna make it a lot easier. Then she was in that one as well. She had a nude scene in that one too. She's got a lot of nude scenes in this one. She plays like twin sisters. All right, so basically, I'll give you the whole kind of like a synopsis of the plot first. Basically, there's this girl. She works at a video store, and she is suspicious that her boyfriend might be sleeping with her twin sister. Hey, shy, unassuming, but slightly strange guy comes in to her video store one day. He doesn't have a VCR, but he comes in to basically talk to her and say that he saw her at the club. And he eventually asks her out. Around that time, she's getting unusual, strange phone calls. And it's not a call where she's even hearing something. There's just like weird, distorted, like actually kind of creepy, like noises coming through from the phone. Eventually, she hears through the like a problem with her phone, like when lines get crossed, or if you're old enough, phone lines sometimes get crossed. If you've ever seen the movie, so many movies use that nowadays. Anyway, so used to use that back in the day. So she hears her boyfriend talking to her sister-in-law about having slept together. So she takes it on herself to call the stranger that has been asking her out. He answers the phone, and she says, "Well, would you like to do something?" He says, "Well, I can't tonight. I got to clean up." "Well, what about tomorrow night?" So when he hangs up the phone, the camera pans out, and there's a dead body in his bed. He's a serial killer. You know this right away. It's pretty obvious, and he doesn't kind of hide the fact that well, he hides from her, but it's not hid from the audience that he's a serial killer. Eventually, something will happen with him. He'll get killed, but the killings still go on. The phone calls still go on. So she keeps getting the calls. At first, you think either did her ex-boyfriend do it? Is she crazy? Is it the cop? Maybe they're actually giving, hey Wheels, giving Carmen a bigger plot. But at the end of the movie, they do something I didn't expect, and it's for me it kind of saves the film. It's Vinegar Syndrome Day. And basically that is she gets a phone call and she rips her phone apart. She can't take it anymore. And then in the last scene, we see the killer. He's coming out the door. He's walking down the steps. He's wearing a trench coat and a hat. And he just has a odd, creepy look to him. And he's walking with his hands behind his back. And he turns and he stares at the camera. He's nobody you've seen in the film. He's absolutely nobody you've seen. He's a faceless stranger. someone that you didn't, that you couldn't guess, someone that you wouldn't expect. Because in reality, oftentimes, the killer is a faceless stranger. It's not a movie. It's not a twist. It's, it's not a swerve. It's not something you can guess. It's just death. It's somebody that you don't even know. And the reason the director did this was he wanted it to be somebody blank, somebody that you could just look at it, and you could put whatever fear you got into this character. There's no explanation. There's no explaining why it's done, and you would think that would be like a deal breaker for the film. But this is a film that, I'll be honest with you, has had some pretty amateurish like acting towards throughout it. Has been at some unique like editing that I did think went on, some scenes went on a bit long, but it haunted me. It did. I mean, like, this is a regional horror film, when you go into a regional horror film, you expect it to be a bit more low budget. You expect to be a little bit less to look at towards there, and it's true. It's low budget. It's done in like few locations, but it's that got to me, much in the same way that The Strangers got to me. This film got to me with that. That's that same kind of like that horror eerie feeling came about me. It was just a stranger. It was nobody I could guess. There was no way for me to guess. There was no twist. They didn't Hollywoodize it. Another thing that I got to mention, and it might be a make or break for some people, but for me it's definitely a make. There's a band in this movie, and their music is played quite a bit, and their name is the Excerpts. Now, one of the members of the Excerpts, I know he went on to do like a lot of like soundtracks and stuff like that. He's actually became famous for it, and I really did like the music. It had like some really great music in it, stuff that I like, kind of a 70s, 80s, kind of maybe a bit of a pop fusion type of blend to it, but it works for the film. Feature-wise, there's also a short film in there called 20 Questions, and the premise is pretty simple in that they have real people in front of a live camera, basically being questioned, given questions that they don't know what they're going to be, and answering them on camera with giving their live reactions to them. It's pretty brilliantly done. It's actually really interesting. There's an introduction for the film. I think there's an introduction for 20 Questions too. There's even like a screening like afterwards, the director talking about 20 Questions. It's pretty ingenious. I just thought I heard something upstairs. Hopefully it's not faceless killers. I'll be right back. I know that Randy said you're not supposed to say that from Scream, but I'll be right back. Did I scare you? Got it. Nobody was there. Maybe it was a strange faceless killer. Anyway, this is Gorman Bechard's Disconnected, by the director of Cycles in Love. But for me, and I haven't seen Cycles in Love in years, I don't own the Vinegar Syndrome version of that, a better film. It's different. It's unique. Soundtrack is great. I explained the ending to you. It's unsettling. It gets under your skin, or it did me. Everybody's different, but it definitely did me. This is Disconnected. If you want to see the alternate artwork, which is probably what most people have seen, it's this here. Now, the sad part is if you don't own Disconnected, it's an eBay search for you because it went out of print during their halfway to Black Friday sale. It's not something that they have anymore. But I am going to confirm that by going on here. I'm looking at VinSyn right now. I had planned to watch Nightmare Beach tonight, by the way. That was going to be tomorrow's video. Unfortunately, FedEx is late. My package is not showing up tomorrow. So I shan't be seeing Nightmare Beach until then. Let's find out if there is a... Definitely one worth checking into. I want to see, is it in print? Go to stock. Okay, see if there's a standard edition. Let's go. No, there's neither one. Disconnected one, Logan. It's worth checking out. It's creepy as... Like I mentioned, acting, not the best. Though you like one of your... It's got a connection, Logan, to one of your favorite actors, who is in two of your favorite films, Claude Rains. Claude Rains' niece is in this movie. Frances Rains. So if you own the Mutilator, which I'm sure you do, it's an Arrow limited edition, and I know you get those. She's in that as well, but she's the lead in this film. And she's in a few other films that I'm sure, Logan, that you own. If you can get your hands on it, though, it's worth checking out. Regional horror, acting, kind of amateurish, ending haunting, for sure. Great music by the excerpts. Logan, you're a music person. Check them out. Look up the excerpts. Yeah, she is the niece of Claude Rains. She did a handful of films, most of them horror films, most of them that included her doing nudity. She's a very attractive girl, so you can see why. But she's a decent actress, too. She helps carry the film when everybody else isn't so well. Because there's a portion of the film where you kind of think that all of it... That's the way I feel, Mug. See, most people are the opposite of us, or haven't seen Disconnected and they just really like Cycles in Love. I wasn't so much into Cycles in Love, but it's been a long time since I've seen it. I'll pick it up one of these days because, I want all the Vinegar Syndromes. But this is more of my type. This is more what I'm into. So you got Disconnected as well then. Did you like it? Did you find did the ending creep you out? Because the ending legitimately creeped me out. It's kind of like, and he looks, the dude, it's the grandfather of the director, by the way. The dude kind of reminds me a bit, just the way his look is, and it's just, the guy, remember Poltergeist 2? That guy from Poltergeist 2 with the big smile? That type of eerie feel, I got that from that guy. You've seen it, right, Mike? You watched Disconnected. Definitely. I mean, check it out again. It kind of has that feel. And the guy actually was younger at the time. He actually dyed his hair, kind of grayed it, or blonded it to make it older. Oh yeah, there's very little actual comedicness and Disconnected. It's a very dark film. There's one sequence in the film that's worth mentioning where we see a passage of time, but we see it through black and white photos. And it's different and unique. It's kind of a stylish take on it. And it seems so weird because you're watching this film and most of the actors in this film are not good. Like Mark Walker, and maybe went on to better stuff, wasn't the best actor in this film. He was the lead psycho in the film. Well, we think. But the music is excellent, and the excerpts is fantastic. For me, did fantastic. So then you get these this stylish editing that comes out of nowhere, almost seems out of place, and then you get to the end and you're like, I want to take a shower, but not alone, and that doesn't sound right. But you know what I mean? It creeps you out. And I'm here alone too, right? So that's different. So aside from that, I got 13. Count them, 13 Vinegar Syndromes right there. All horror that I think every person should have in their Vinegar Syndrome collection. and I'm going to show those off. Before I do that, though, I went to my local shoppers. Is it on Amazon Prime? Is it a good copy on Amazon Prime, though? Like, that will make a difference, for some people at least. Because they did do a 2K restoration, and disconnected. Well, you know, yeah, it looks as good as it can look, I guess, because you know it is still like a film that it's got great grain, but you can tell it's an older film. So, for those here in Canada, excellent. As long as it's on Prime and it's uncut, you're good to go. Definitely check it out. It's worth checking out, guys. I would check it out. Let me know what you think. Don't let some of the wonkiness of the beginning like turn you off. Like stick it through. I really think it's worth it. Went to my local shoppers, picked this up for $9.99. This is Slasher Season 1. If you're Canadian, you should know that this is not available in Canada. It's only available in the US, so worth checking out. And it has the girl that plays Lena Luthor on Supergirl in it. She is one of my crushes. She's Irish, actually. All right, let's get into 13, the lucky 13 must-have Vinegar Syndrome releases, at least in my not-so-humble opinion. As a collector of Vinegar Syndrome for like a long period of time, obviously, that's kind of my name. The Messenger. I know, Carlito. Well, we didn't get it here, see, so all we got was like, it would come on like Sci-Fi or somewhere, something like that. Or for Slasher, we got it on like on Netflix. That's where we got Slasher at. 3 seasons so far. I think there's a 4th season coming in 2020. It'll be interesting to see how it goes. Netflix saved Slasher. Hopefully they continue to do so. So, 13, in no particular order, 13 Vinegar Syndrome horror titles I think you should own. The first one is a horror comedy title, and that is Psycho Cop Returns. I had only seen the original Psycho Cop years ago on VHS. And to be completely honest, I rented it thinking it was Maniac Cop. I did. But when Vinegar Syndrome said that they're putting out Psycho Cop Returns, and it was directed by Adam Rifkin, I had to go back. I thought I'd seen it, and I had seen this before. And the one thing I can say, this is way better than the original. I would buy the original if it came out. An Irish lass, yes she is. I'm not going to even pretend to do an Irish accent. But definitely worth checking out, guys. If you haven't seen Psycho Cop Returns, it's a fun film. Unlike like certain ones where they're darker and stuff like that, it's pretty much one of those like 80s, 90s films with the kind of the wisecracking killer type thing. You know, the Freddy Krueger's type thing. Without the dream things. Anyway, well done. Next up is, definitely was a divisive one, but one that I think everybody should own. I'm not sure if this version of it's around, but it's still around, and that is Blood Harvest. It has Tiny Tim, who's a marvelous Mervo, and it has Peter Krause from what's it, 6 Feet Under, right? Yeah, 6 Feet Under. An odd combination, isn't it? But yes, Peter Krause is in this film. Quite a cast and quite an odd film. But I gotta say, I really enjoyed it. I thought it was hilarious that she kept, you know, getting chloroformed over and over again. I'm like, that's gotta have some like long-standing like problems in the future for that poor girl. Not only is she being like stalked by a killer, but every 10 minutes he's like chloroform her and like kind of like just creeping on her. That's, you know. The next one is 110% something that if you don't have it in your Vinegar Syndrome collection already, there's a Black Friday sale coming up. Get it in there. That is Incubus. Incubus is an excellent film. It's directed by John Hoff. It's one that I talked about on Just the Discs which is an excellent podcast, by the way. Uh, Great cast. We got like we got John Cassavetes, John Ireland in there. Kerry Keane is in this one. It's done by photographed by Alfred J. Dunk, who did Class of 1984. Really well done film. There's some really great like directing and cinematographic choices like done in this film that really makes it worth checking out. Definitely, if you've never seen Incubus, check it out. Don't expect it to be like the book. If you read the book, they changed who the Incubus is in the movie. So if you're a fan of the book Incubus, forget that because it's going to be different. Definitely should be on. No, no, you're thinking of a different one. That's not the William Shatner one. This is the John Cassavetes one. Though I do get asked that a lot, actually. So you're not the first person to ask me that. Next up is a fun, cheesy one. Do you like movies like Evil Dead? Do you like Demon Possession? Do you like magicians? Do you like magicians that can do kung fu? Well, if you do, if you answered yes to any or all of those questions, hey Jimbo, welcome. I actually got to read the book. There's more than one, isn't there? Demon Wind, because it has all that. It has magicians that can do kung fu. It has demon possession. It has Evil Dead type of stuff. It has the porn star in a non-porny scene. Oh, did you really? Did you like it? Did you enjoy Demon Wind for its ultra cheesiness? It's like low budget, like Evil Dead, but it's fun. Did he really? Welcome, Ryan, dude. Welcome. Nice. I, hey, I'm head of the curve this time. I beat Cinemasker to the punch. I really respect that dude's opinion. But if he says something bad about Incubus, I'm gonna find him at a convention one of these days and have a talking to him. Did he like it? All right. Next up is Norman J. Warren's Prey. You knew this was going to be on the list. The Shatner one. Okay. This is a really good film. This is a really good Norman J. Warren film. This is not going to be the only Norman J. Warren film that is on this list, by the way. But by far and large, this is probably the most established, like well shot, well done, like well put together film for me. I thought this is an excellent film. If you haven't seen it, definitely check it out. Prey, it's kind of a sci-fi horror. It's different. It basically goes around like main characters, or there's three main characters that we kind of go back and forth with between the film, and yeah, you wouldn't think that it could be that interesting with only like three people for most of the action, but it's good. If I told you that there was going to be a movie with a cat-like alien that seduces and kills people, you'd probably say that doesn't sound very good. But and I would say, yeah, you're probably right. But this one, it's way better than it sounds. Way better. Next up is I think the first. Is this the first of their slipcovers? This is one of the first of their slipcovers, not the first. And it is a Joe Spinell film, so you all know what it is. And that is The Undertaker. Joe Spinell made a couple classics, movies like like Maniac, for instance. He made the Last Horror Show, and this one here called The Undertaker. And I actually really like this film. It has that kind of griminess that a Joe Spinell film has. Like he puts the sweatiness into the films, and that's not a knock on him. That's serious. Like he does. He puts that kind of like sweaty urgency into his films. That's kind of the character that he plays in some of these films. And same as a Maniac, he's a strange, twisted character. I got to see that review. I'm not sure if I've seen that one, but definitely worth checking out. Maniac. You mean Joe Spinell Maniac? It's an excellent film. The original. I don't think there's a wrestler in this one. Oh, The Undertaker, cute. I'm sorry, I just got on. A little slow today. Yeah, it's an excellent film. I'm guessing you probably picked up Blue Underground, right? Did you get with the lenticular cover in that? I grabbed that one. It's a great addition, by the way. Either way, it's a great film. It's dark and it's gritty and it's kind of like in the same vein of like a Henry Portrait serial killer, that style of horror. It's more of like a kind of like a realistic horror. It's tortured. It's gritty. It's not light at all. You like the remake better? Listen, I've heard that. You're not the only person, Logan, that said that. I like the remake. I personally like the original better because Joe Spinell just seems more real to me. You know what I mean? The look. When I hear maniac and killer that's killing, girls on the street, I kind of picture Spinell. I think I probably pictured Spinell even before I knew who Spinell was, because he does have that look to him. Incubus the band. This is like a full-on Incubus here. All right, so let's get into ones. The rest of them are not slipcover ones. But they're fun films for different reasons. First off, I want to give you an anthology here. I want to pick something a bit different. And this is a good movie to watch because everybody's got something to do. Everybody but you. And that is Night Train to Terror. I really dug this film. This is one that I originally saw on a BCI release, so it had like about 10 movies on it. It was one of those like 2 DVD cases, ones in a hard, basically a cheap cardboard slipcover, like going over them. But and it was horrible quality, and it kind of like intrigued me. And I'd always wanted to see it, like to go back and watch it again. And I'd moved and I lost that one. Demon Eyes is an excellent cover. Although I'm not a big, Demon Eyes is not one of my favorites. A lot of people love that one. It's just one that a bit of a slower watch for me, like me personally. But Night Train to Terror, this I can watch over and over again. It's weird. It is really pretty much just an anthology that is actually 3 unfinished films that were put together as an anthology. Now, that being said, 2 of these 3 films actually were finished. I think the second and third one, 2 of them were finished anyway. But so Greta, the second film, it's hardcore on this, is actually complete. Oh, that sucks. For 5 days? That's insane. They should put you up somewhere at that point. I know what it's like. I lived in Newfoundland. We had like this kind of rolling blackout, and the power was gone in the middle of winter for over a week for some and everybody was snowed in. So what we did was we shoveled out our car and went to Tim Hortons. Shutter's definitely worth the price. $4.99. It's great. Hey, Amy. And we went to Tim Hortons and we bought a bunch of coffees and hot chocolates, and we just went around and distributed them to people that were still shoveling their stuff out. Because, it was nuts. But hopefully it gets back sooner than that. And good luck with that, by the way. It is long. Yeah. But anyway, check this out. Logan, you got to give this one another chance, man. Don't you want to see the uninterrupted version of Greta, a 90-minute version of Greta? I'm not joking. It's on here. It's on the DVD. That's nuts. What's going on? Like something serious must happen for like power to be gone for 5 days. Was there like an accident there, or is there like some kind of storm going on? Because with us, the one of the power areas basically burnt out, and it couldn't, when it took them like over a week to replace it. So they could only give power to certain areas at certain periods of time. Hey, Joseph, are you serious? That's awesome. Vampire Doll. I haven't watched Like a Dracula yet. Well, I've watched it, but I haven't watched it like since I recently got it. But Vampire Doll creeped the hell out of me. It did. Like when that sequence where she's there and she suddenly smiles and she's got the knife in her hand. Yeah, that creeped me out a bit. I'm not gonna lie. A bit of a wuss there, I guess, but that's true. Next up is one that I talk about all the time. This one as an X-rated version down here. Warning ahead of time. For safety to win. Oh, hopefully it comes. But also has an R-rated version as well, so you don't have to watch the X-rated version. Just make sure if you're going to watch with friends or something like that, you know which version you watch before you put it on. And that is A Woman's Torment. And this is by director Roberta Findlay, who does an amazing job with this film. It is way, way better than I expected it to be. And a lot of it has to do with the lead actress. She's really, really unique and strange and odd and enigmatic. And you can't take your eyes off her. There's certain actresses like that. You can see, whoa. Take care. I mean, like, stay safe, man. And keep me updated when you can. We know that you and your mom and that are safe. But this is worth it. It's worth having. If you got any power banks or anything like that, Kathy, that are charged up, you keep them like charged in that, or if you got like chargers in your car, do that now. Or if you got like a local hardware store, there's like get lanterns. I know this from last time around, and get all your blankets out, especially your bigger ones, because it will get cold. The Loved Ones is one of my favorites, guys. I love that movie. And I love the song Am I Pretty Enough too, which is really good. That's in the films. Great song. Cheesy goodness in Ice Cream Man. It's got Clint Howard. It's got Jan Michael Vincent. It's got a lot of people, actually. Olivia Hussey's in this film. David Naughton is in this film. What's the girl, too? There's like the girl that played Tina on One Life to Live. Really good-looking girl. She's actually in this film. It's an odd film, but it's a ton of fun. If you have not seen Ice Cream Man, it's really worth the watch. It's cheesy. It doesn't take itself seriously. The kills are different and unique. And Clint Howard is perfect to play a killer. He really is. And they actually set it up for a sequel that we all know is not going to happen. Unless they do it now. Hey, Ken, welcome. I heard about that one, actually. I got to pick it out. Pick it up. Pick it up eventually. Eventually I will. I'll get around to it. I got a few AGFAs to get. AGFA is good company. Really? Did you like it? It's a different film. You got to admit, it's a different film. It's fun. It's fun. You don't take it too seriously. Perfect. Water flashlight. Yep. Oh yeah. We went to a place where you wash your car, with those things, and we load up a bunch of stuff. Vincent Price Class Haunted Palace. Great film. Vincent Price was lucky that way. Well, Vincent Price deserved it. He could act like crazy. He was a Renaissance man, a genius, and a fantastic artist as well. So remember when I said there was going to be more than one, like Norman J. Warren on this list? This is the other one. Bloody New Year. I really like this film. I didn't think I was going to. If you only hear like kind of what it's about, or if you hear like synopsis, you're probably going to be unsold. Ah, everybody, Volume 2 of Vincent Price's From Scream Factory is going into print. And we all know what happened with Volume 1. That's when I got over there, that's gone up in price like crazy. It's like what, $500 or $600, but by some people now, insane. But definitely grab it. I might have to grab that. I can't now. I'm broke, but hopefully soon I'll be able to grab it. Today I'm off work early because we had a bit of a slow day at work. So it's about a few dollars though that I'm going to be able to pocket. But some days are going to be like that. Bloody New Year. I just really enjoyed this one. It's weird and quirky and fun and unusual, and it's got a dreamlike aesthetic to it. I haven't gotten to watch it yet, Joseph. I got the limited edition of Sudden Fury with the slipcover. Hey, must sing. But I haven't actually watched it yet. And it's been years since I've seen it. That's why it's not on this list. But I remember it being good. Hey, Brian. We're talking Vinegar Syndrome and why you should have Bloody New Year. Disconnected, though, dude. Disconnected. Seriously, pick that up. Or at least watch the Amazon Prime one. This one is by Graydon Clark, and it's not wacko. I'm pretty good. I'm home from work early. You love old Canadian films? You're after my heart. Canadian films, I love that stuff. I am Canadian. Like the most commercial. I am Canadian. Pretty good. I mean, I'm home from work early, so which is both good and bad. Bad for my pocketbook, good for my sanity. So that's but always but back again tomorrow to the grind, which is good because let me do like a longer video and like to come here and do one today, because after watching Disconnected, I knew I wanted to talk Vinegar Syndrome today. Kung Fury. It's a different type of film, Jimbo. Sudden Fury is more of like a Hitchcockian thriller. Canadian Hitchcockian thriller. Is the way I put it. Yeah, keep us updated. And take care of yourself. Take care of yourself, your family. Random order. I didn't bother to put in an order tonight. But if at the end, if you want me to pick like a top 2 or 3, I can do that. You take care too. Storefront Theater. Hey, is that the sets like the Pono ones that you did? I don't have those yet. I do want them. They're odd films, obviously. They're adult films, and I think they're mostly like kind of real ones. So like most of them are going to be like shorter, like anywhere from like I don't know, like 20 to 70 minutes, that type of thing. But it's usually like one reelers. But I hear they're pretty good. I think they're pretty feature free, but for what they are, I would get them. But The Uninvited, Graydon Clark. This is the one I got. This is the Cat Monster one. If you haven't seen this, definitely worth seeing. And again, a great cast. I'm not even joking. We got like George Kennedy, Alex Cord, Clu Gallagher's in this one. Definitely worth checking out. Did they do well with the sets? Vinegar Syndrome is like, if the sets sell well, you're definitely going to see more. If it took them a long time to sell them, 9 out of 10 they may be the only ones they do. Like they had like a sexploitation series, and they had like some fairly high quality, like good sexploitation films. They did like 4 of them, but they didn't sell that well, and now the line's been canceled. But it's always hard to tell. Oh, yeah, this is a cool one, Jason. Oh, I agree. It is. They're fun. This is the effects are insane. I don't think I have. Did you hear that? No, you didn't. I'll be right back. Unless that creepy looking killer gets me. If I'm gone for longer than 5 minutes, call 911. If I'm gone for longer than 5 minutes, get pissed off. No, it's just getting eerie. Just saying. I guess I'm back. The Lure actually is one that my better half watched the trailer of and is on her list, on a short list of ones that she wants to get during the next sale. She was really intrigued by the trailer, really liked it. It's definitely her type. Mine too. Calls coming from inside the house. The next one should go without saying. This is one, it does. It looks really good. That if you don't have it and you picked up Vinegar Syndrome, I got to ask you, why have you not picked this up yet? Why have you not grabbed? There's nothing out there. Because for me, this is the best of Rolf Kaninsky. He does some good stuff, but this I really like. This I dig. It's meta horror. It's pre-scream meta horror, and it's meta horror done right. There is a ton of features on here. Just look at the special features. I'm not even joking. See that long list? Those are all special features, and they're not just 5-minute special features. No, there are actual there's short films on here. There's an actual feature-length film on here as well. There's all kinds of footage and new commentaries and old commentaries and interviews. And aside from this film, aside from having a second film called Murder in Winter, aside from having a film called Copycat, you have the classic, the utterly amazing film, which co-stars Tiffany Shepis, by the way, Mood Boobs. And how can you live your life and not have mood boobs in your collection? There's something out there for me. There's nothing out there right here in this film. Hey, in this movie where he says there's nothing out there, there actually was. So let's hope this isn't prophetic. I don't want to see one of these little creature things coming in my house. My cats will take. And last but not least is a cheese-tastic, insane, have to see it to believe it film that has a cover way better than the film probably deserves. For the first time ever, uncut, by one of the people that brought you Mystery Science Theater 3000, Bloodhook. I will let you sink in the greatness that is Bloodhook. Have a great one there. Take it easy and watch some good horror. This, anybody have this? Admit if you do. Often touted by the guys over at Shockwaves, Bloodhook is one of those insane films that only Vinegar Syndrome, I think, or when there would put this out, or trauma. But this is a trauma actually. You're waiting for which to be shipped? For your volume. Is that the one? Oh, did you just order the VinSyn price set? Yeah, actually, it's Jim Malone from Mystery Science Theater. There's a I don't know if there's a DVD Blu-ray company called Shockwaves. There's a podcast called Shockwaves. If you ever watch, it's super crazy, dude. If you've ever seen, if you ever listen to like the Pure Cinema podcast or like or Just the Discs, Brian, who comes on here a lot, actually has Rob Galuza from Shockwaves on his podcast at least once a month, and they do like pretty much like their picks for the month type of thing, which is really really good actually. I always find stuff that I buy because of that. And I'm even super more stoked now because I was listening to Shockwaves and Rob. I'm pretty sure it was Rob actually kind of like had the same feelings that I had about Wax Mask, which was cool. Did anybody watch Wax Mask, by the way, and see the feature that I asked you about, that I mentioned to you guys? Oh no, Shockwaves is just like they're a podcast. They used to be called Killer POV back in the day. Then they went into when it changed their name to podcast. It's Elric Kane, who does Pure Cinema with Brian, Rob Galuza, Hey Cinematech, who does Just the Discs with Brian, and Rebecca McHenry, and Ryan Turek, who was part of the team that was behind bringing back Halloween, the 2018 version. Let me know what you think. No, there was a. You're getting it confused, and it's easy because they're semi similar. There was a Scream Factory podcast called Screamcast. That's the one you're thinking of. Screamcast has like you've seen her on here before. Stephanie Crawford. That's the she does Screamcast, and with Brad and and the other one. I'm not good with names right now. So Stephanie, like first it was two guys, and they did Screamcast, and Screamcast was about Scream Factory originally. Then I'm not sure what happened behind the scenes, but something happened, and they kind of felt on sort of on bad terms or something like it with Scream Factory. I wouldn't be surprised if Scream Factory kind of like maybe didn't want to be honest about the films. So they moved away and became their own thing, and they became Screamcast. So they're still going on, and they do some great podcasting. And like the ones that like stuff I listen to, like I listen to Shockwaves, Just to This, Pure Cinema, Screamcast, Projection Booth, movies, the movies that were the movies that never were, like basically. Tell you what, here I'm going to give you a list, Scott. Podcast. Here are some of the podcasts that I listen to. I've been wanting to do this. So, 22 Shots of Horror with Moods, 616. I listen to that. Casualty Fridays with Felissa Rose, Kane Hodder, Tiffany Shepard, Class of with Rebecca McHenry. Dead Meat. I love Dead Meat's podcast. Some Doctor Who ones. You guys don't care about those. Don't Point That Horror at Me, which is about like point novels, paperback novels. That's true. F this movie. Exploding Heads. Just the Discs, of course. You guys know that. I've actually been on that one. Hopefully I'll be on again down the road. Postmortem with Mick Garris. Pure Cinema. Screamcasts. Scream Addicts. Some Kevin Smith. Shockwaves. Supporting Characters. The Projection Booth. That's what we'll go with. I listen to a lot of podcasts, guys. Those are the ones I mentioned for now. A little podcast list for you guys. Kane Hodder. Kane Hodder's always gold, man. He freaked the hell out of my better half when we met him, but still a great guy. Horror movie podcast, Deep in the Heart of Texas. I'm always looking for more podcasts because I listen to a lot, actually. As much as I watch stuff, but when I go to bed, I usually listen to a podcast before bed, and sometimes when I'm going to work, I'll listen to them as well. Hey, B Movie Archives, welcome. Well, he was doing the choke thing. I got her by the neck there. And the dude, he's a strong dude, right? Doesn't know his own strength. And she was like, oh my God, he's choking me. She got this look on her face. This terrified look on her face. I keep getting that. I got to start doing Letterbox. I do have, I love Drunk Film School. See, I was there when you started that. Because after all, I was the person that kept ragging on you guys for when you didn't say the 80s were the greatest of all time. You remember that, right? I got to get on Letterbox. Everybody talks to me about Letterbox. I'm so behind the times. I'm still working on setting up a Discord server for this channel, which eventually I hope to do. But maybe I won't. I got to keep you guys live on here, right? But people keep asking me about that too. There's certain things I get comments about. I get people ask me about Letterbox. I get asked a lot of strange questions recently. 1939 greatest movie year about. Yeah, actually, that's a really good one. But 84, music. 84. It's one of the great years of music. 80s were a great time for music. See, I feel like I should be keeping up with some of this stuff. Yeah, I know. I used to listen to the Horror Show podcast, actually. There's a couple that I actually ended. I don't know if anybody else remember this one or not, but there was one called Torgo's Pizzeria. I don't even think it's archived. I don't think you can even find it now. But there was one called Torgo's Pizzeria. And I don't know who did it, but it was early on when I was listening to podcasts. Did I hate the 90s at the time? I went through a period, Logan, of seriously hating the 90s. Until Scream Factory came along and put out a bunch of movies and I realized, man, I really did like the 90s. So I was wrong. You won't get me admitting that all the time, but Logan, I was wrong. So let yourself sink that in. One of those rarities that you're going to get. Oh, much more. Oh, you hated the 90s. I say give it another look. Because at the time, well, I liked it. I kind of liked it. Certain movies, stuff like Urban Legends, the Scream films. See, because 90s is usually what I'm like. I'm like an 80s guy. I'm like, oh man, I'm not big in the 90s. But over the last couple of years, I became more into them. And part nostalgia, part me realizing that I was one of those kids that were like, yeah, I'm not sure about this 90s stuff. Like, everything was so much better in the 80s. I don't think it's true, but not with nothing groundbreaking. Look, like take stuff like Scream, for instance. You know, like it or hate it, it did stuff. Blair Witch Project, which I don't like. I'm not a fan of the Blair Witch film, not at all actually. But it did revolutionize like found footage horror, until it got better with paranormal activity and stuff like that. Music wise, I guess if you're into the stuff, like Nirvana, now here's the thing, it's more my sisters for stuff like that. I like some music that I know you're probably gonna hate, but I used to like some EDM stuff. I'm a Daft Punk guy. I that style of stuff. Like I'm Canadian. You know Marinus Trench is on my phone in the music. I'm not sure if anybody knows who they are. They're a Canadian band, but I can definitely bop down the road to some Marinus Trench, Masterpiece uh, Theater, Masterpiece, that album. This came to like there's a good question. Here's a jump off question, guys. What is your favorite decade for horror? I think the aughts for me, like personally, but I'd have to go back and look into it. Think about it. Just think about it for a second, but don't think about it for too long. If you had 80s, hey Emily, favorite decade for horror. See, I'm an 80s person. 70s, but 80s for slashers. 70s, a lot of people say 70s. Yeah, only 70s. I think it depends. For me, overall, for just the all the stuff that it has, and just the stuff that I like and I enjoy, and I will go back to watch more. It's 80s. But that being said, obviously, I watched a lot of like Jawas, and 90% of the ones that I love, they came out of the 70s. So if I could go late 70s, early 80s, that's kind of the thing, right? Mid to mid. I'm gonna say a transition. Here's the thing. Evil Dead's in the 80s, yeah. 81. I think you're right. Halloween came out in 78. So did my favorite movie of all time, Logan. You know that, Black Christmas. So did, and of course, a couple months later, When a Stranger Calls. But Halloween didn't refine the slasher film. Friday the 13th did that, part two actually, and Halloween ended up following suit. Halloween was the most successful, popular at the time, independent horror, and was like kind of like the start. Well, not really the start. I don't consider Psycho the start of slasher films. I don't really consider Psycho an actual. I don't consider it like one of the actual slasher. I know it's supposed to be. I don't really consider it. I think that like certain Giallo films are stronger, like more slasher than that. Texas Chainsaw. Yeah, I know. Again, a favorite, one of the favorites on my list. There's a lot of great. That's the thing. If you really look at it, there's certain decades like the '80s to me like epitomizes what what horror is. It was a perfect time. That's when we got home video, home media, and whether that was a VHS player or later on a DVD player or Laserdisc, that's when horror came home. So although 1978 was the night he came home, the 1980s was the decade that horror came home. Damn, you know what? I'm trademarking that. That's damn good. I like that. I'm patting myself on the back for that one. Oh no, actually, I don't. I would love to. I don't have a beta player, and I haven't seen any beta around, but I would in a second because we had beta player back in the day. We had both, right? My stepdad at the time was a he was electrician, and we had like a big stereo system, and we had a couple VHS players and a couple of beta players as well. We would like hook. We had them hooked up to the stereo system on the TV, and at the time, I would take my audio cassettes, those things for people that are look them up for those people that don't remember the stuff. Beta had much better picture, much better sound. The problem was with beta was that you could only record an hour on it, and it was more expensive. So quality lost out to quantity when it came to the VHS wars. VHS won because it was cheaper. More people ended up adapting it, and you could record 2 hours on it. And eventually, when you went to an EP speed, you could record 6 hours, but the quality was iffy. But for people that that bought those tapes, wanted to record movies or sporting events, stuff like that, a 2 hour tape was much more convenient than an hour long tape. And a lot of the betas were recordable hour long tapes. That's one of the main reasons behind it. Sorry, guys, I got into like a turn there, but an interesting turn. But yeah, I collect all. So eventually, I'll have a beta player. Probably not till I go to Morocco, unless I come across one really good. I want the formats that I still have to get. I need to get a beta player, and I need a CED machine as well, capacitive enhanced disc. The that was before VHS. So those are the two formats that I really need. I think I pretty much got all the other formats I need. I might need a couple other projectors. I got 60 millimeter, no 6. I got Super 8 and 8 millimeter. So yeah, I may need a projector as well, another projector. But I'm trying to collect all the different formats. If anybody ever goes all digital and wants to send their media collection my way, feel free to do so. But here's the thing. I know that you guys are never going all digital because you guys are hardcore physical media guys. You're like me. That's why you're here. You're collecting your movie libraries. Good old Gunnar Hansen in the back, huh? Want to see if I missed any comments. How long do I think DVD is going to be around? As long as physical media is around, Carlito. DVD is still in my opinion, it's still the biggest media going. It's DVD is not going to. People still buy DVD. People buy DVD over Blu-rays, like in a lot of cases. As Blu-rays have gotten cheaper, you get more people going on and buying Blu-rays. But not everybody's like us who are looking for like the higher quality, best type stuff, or just trying to. They just want a copy of a film. Like they don't care about the features. Some people don't. They don't care about getting the extra stuff on it. A lot of times, your local person, casual going to Walmart, want to pick up a movie and watch it. It doesn't matter to them if it's on Blu-ray or DVD. If it's a bit cheaper to take home on the DVD copy, the DVD is gonna sell, and so DVD will stick around as long as there's physical media around. Do I remember 8-tracks? Yes, I do. My record player that I had actually is 8-track broken it, which I was very disappointed in because I got a few 8-tracks. I got the soundtrack of FM actually on 8-track, and I had like a Christmas 8-track as well. So I'm very disappointed that I don't have that anymore. Well, you can't get the commentary on streaming for Criterion. They do that. They're the only Criterion and Scream Factory does a few commentaries, actually. They do on Scream Factory TV. If you ever check it out, Chef Factory TV, they do some commentaries. But no, you're not going to, and Apple TV's iTunes Extras sometimes does it. But by far and large, no, most things don't have all the features on there, whether they're commentaries or other extras. And streaming quality is never the same quality of actual physical media. A 4K streaming film, sound and picture is subpar as compared to the. It's good, but it's not as good as a 4K disc. Double up, yeah, that on a double LP. Yeah, VCDs are still around, dude. But still, even to this day, the movies with extras or features or commentaries on a streaming device, it's not the norm. You know, it's special, and it's only for certain ones. Any movie that has, anytime you go out and you buy a film that has features, you got the film. It's got features. Tomorrow, Criterion could decide, okay, we'll put this movie on, but like, we're not going to keep the features on. We're just going to have the features for the movie, the Criterion edition features, on for a limited period of time. They could do that. Within their rights to do that. And if they thought, and if they wanted to make up, more space for more films, they could easily do that. They don't have to put them on there. It's just kind of one of the things to get people to come in. But down the road, who knows? The only true way you can be sure to have something, like to completely own something, is if you got it. Go to this one because it's always close by. Silent Night, Deadly Night, 3, 4, and 5. I own the films. As long as this disc is good, they're mine. And if I wanted to keep them even longer, I could just rip them to my computer. Since I actually legitimately bought and own this copy, I could rip them to the computer and keep a digital backup. That's the only way that you truly own something, and that's the only way that you truly digitally own something, is if you actually own a physical copy of it as well. If it's just a digital and it's coming from a streaming service, or you bought it on iTunes or something like that, you never know. But this way, you're 100% sure. And that is my rant for today. There should be a soapbox I can get on, Be like Tall Girl, that Netflix film. Yeah, and I've got excellent quality internet, or I wouldn't be able to make these videos. And I can tell you, 4K looks good, but it's not the same as the physical disc. That's what 8K TVs are for. My own show. I would like that. This is my show. This is our show. If I just had my own show, I wouldn't have you guys, and that would make it boring. And then I'd just be talking on the screen. You'd be like, oh God, this is so boring. Joe Bob's special comes out on the 25th, right? I think Jason's talking about an earlier one. Because as far as I know, you may not have missed it, Jason, if you're thinking about the one that's coming up. As far what I heard is that it's coming on October. I could be wrong, but can anybody verify that there's a Joe Bob show coming on the 25th, October 25th? Like there's a marathon or something? I'm pretty sure. Last year's. Yeah, 25th. Oh, you're talking about last year's one. There's a ghost behind me. What's that movie? Was that one of the VHS episode things where the girls talk to the guy over the thing, over Skype, and eventually then there's something behind her. Eventually, it grabs her. Do you guys? I'm not sure if you guys are hearing that, but there's one time, and I was making a video on here, and it just stopped, and it stopped at the creepiest time. Ah, what's going on here? That was strange. So I had a strange like message on my phone. I was just trying to check there. Oh, it was Wish. That's what it was. I had a message from Wish. Has anybody ever bought from Wish or Geek? You know, those really cheap places? I've often thought if it wouldn't take so long to do, and like sometime when I had the extra cash, right? I had the bones, I'd like do like a horror buy from Wish and like do a haul on here, a live haul thing. So maybe eventually, uh, trying to keep the content different. By the way, as for my video for tomorrow, I'm not quite sure yet, but I will, like I did last night. I'll let you guys know. So if you're on my, follow me on Instagram or you look at my Patreon page or you follow me on Twitter, I usually put a picture up there, like I did with Vampire Dolls, like I did with Disconnected yesterday to let people know. I think it's better usually when I get a picture up on all my social media because basically when I do that, I find like today I've noticed more people have shown up than would before. Maybe it's because I did an earlier show as well. Normally I'd still be working right now. See, right now I would still be an hour away from getting into work. So yes, I can send my check next week, but yes. You guys are so quiet. So I'm gonna take this as meaning the chat is winding down and we'll get ready for tomorrow's. Oh no, everything popped up. On my Instagram, charmed with a capital C 007. Legitimately because I was putting away my movies. I had a box. I had some charm box sets on one side and I had some 007 box sets on the other. That's where my name came from. Ever heard the Warrens? Yep. The Warrens seem like to be really interestingly great ghost hunters. I know. I haven't got around to do it yet. My better half's been out of town a lot. That's why I haven't done it yet. But you want to ask me if I believe the Warren stuff? I'm not. Probably not. To be honest with you, like I love the Conjuring films and stuff like that, like Annabelle. Like not Annabelle. Annabelle. Second one was good. Uh, they're the reports are iffy, and the stuff that came out about Annabelle horror, you know, basically they're just like drinking and writing. Uh, yeah, it's entertaining though. Like that doesn't mean I don't believe in spiritual like well dealing ghosts and stuff like that. I do believe in ghosts, but you didn't miss it. I haven't said yet what I'm watching. Oh, well, what I missed for what I watched tonight. Oh, sure. Definitely check it out. It's on Amazon Prime because it's out of print, unfortunately. I watched Disconnected, which is a regional horror film, and it's done by Gorman Bershad, who did Cycles in Love. This is a better film than Cycles in Love, though, in my opinion. And it's very interesting. Acting's not the greatest. It's got a great soundtrack, but the ending creeped me out. It legitimately creeped me out. To the point, I think, where I walked upstairs twice because I heard noises. So yeah, this ending creeped me out. If that's what you're asking. If you're asking about like what tomorrow's is, I haven't decided yet. I legitimately haven't decided yet. I'm trying to go through. I'm trying to make it so that that these videos are not just about a film, but it branches out. Like obviously at near the ending of the videos or like halfway through, we talk about other stuff as well. but I try to make it so that we got a topic. And tonight was Vinegar Syndrome. We did a Fulci one. I'm gonna try to go through all the companies. So I'm gonna have a video where I'm gonna pick a Scream Factory, or I'm gonna pick like a Severin, and we'll talk about other releases in those companies that I like as well. So we'll be doing that. I want to do like a 31 days of horror, live to horror. Kind of want to do like one on books and magazines. So I'll be doing that one as well. So we'll get around to a lot of this stuff. And just keep reminding me if there's something I forget that I said I'm going to do, and you want me to do, just you know mention it. Don't let me forget it, because sometimes it's mine. Gonna lose it a bit. But hopefully by the end of this 31 days, we'll have journeyed through movies and directors and books and maybe even soundtracks and companies, and learned and got a lot of suggestions from each other. And you can come out of it saying, well, that was a really cool, interesting, interactive experience, which I hope it will be. And I hope it has been so far. But that's my thoughts. Oh, B Movie Archive. Sorry, I didn't see your message there. Have a great night there, dude. For some reason, guys, let me check something here. The messages. There we go. Sorry, guys. The messages were not coming up on my screen. So your messages where you're speaking down here, I saw a couple, but I wasn't seeing your messages. I'm sorry. Hey, Darren, welcome, dude. Some of my holy grails you want on Blu-ray that have not come out yet. Fade to Black, definitely, 100% is one of them. Oh God, there's a few. The Angel trilogy, but that's coming out by Vinegar Syndrome. The Night Eyes films, and it's not horror, but Cynthia Rothrock. I like to see some Cynthia Rothrock, especially like or like Lady Dragon, stuff like that, and the one where she did Nude Day. So, hey, Ready, welcome, dude. Nothing showers. You watching Disconnected? Nice. Sorry, guys. I really do apologize. I did not see your messages, and it wasn't coming up on the screen. So I actually just clicked on the thing there, a button, to make sure that they came up. Creature features. Good idea. I was reading Scream magazine actually today at work. One of my older copies of it. I need more of them. They're from England. Me too. When the heck are these sending out those packages? Has yours been sent yet? And ready? I'm kind of wondering when they're going to be sending out the stuff from Vinegar Syndrome. It was weird for you too. But normally, see, for me, I should get it come up on the screen anyway. But sometimes it doesn't. Like, it just glitches sometimes. And I got to like redo the thing down below, like the controls. People often ask me if I've ever had like somebody in like a wrench, or some people call it wrench, when like somebody like moderating the chat portion of it. I tend to kind of do that myself, because it's not me just talking about a subject and like just looking at the comments every once in a while. It's kind of like I try to keep it completely interactive so that I am responding to you. That's why it frustrates me. Hey, Cool Blue, when I don't see messages, and I thought you guys were. I was like standing here and I was like trying. Okay, I'll talk about it. See if people are. I don't know. Grave. I don't know if I've seen Grave Encounters. I haven't seen the latest Projection Booth podcast, actually. It's on Fade to Black. I'm a huge Dennis Christopher fan. One of the, he's one of those actors like that just kind of like blends into his roles. Remember him from Profiler? He did a really good job on Profiler. And when what was it? Screen Junkies, when they did the honest trailers for. I better get a special card then, because I was one of the initial subscribers. when uh, when they did like the honest trailer for the original like a lot of people got upset apparently with them that they forgot Richard Thomas to mention Richard Thomas was in the film. They said it because they considered him as one of those other guys, and I'm like, okay, but Dennis Christopher's right alongside of him, and Dennis Christopher has been in Academy nominated films like Breaking Away. That's the person you should know. Now, Richard Thomas, cool, Waltons, all that stuff. Dennis Christopher, you should know Dennis Christopher. There's a couple Grave Encounters films, right? I don't think I've seen it. Wonder what the card's about. Will we get? Maybe it'll give us. Will it give us like some dollars off of the Godzilla set? That'll be awesome. Probably not, but it'll be awesome. Unmasked Part 25. Do you still have the magazines and ready? Did that add Unmasked like in it, like the Toxic Ore or the Gore Zones? I think it might have been a horror fan too that had like that on it. That takes me back, man. I want to do like a good conversation on like on horror books and horror magazines. No, they don't have all the Criterion movies. They have like a certain amount. What horror film or films will you? I never watch again. Serbian film. That's it, probably. That's probably it. I'll watch any films with animal cruelty, at least animal cruelty versions. Like after I watch them, like, but Serbian film, for specific reasons actually. But that's probably it. And that's just me. That's pretty much anything else I can watch over again. Yeah, Salo. Yeah, Salo's the one watch. I'll own it one of these days, but they had some good ones. Like Horror Fan didn't last that long, did it? But I remember them. I remember like one they had. I think they might have done one with like the Phantom of the Opera as well. Like the one of them did Phantom of the Mall too, like Eric's Revenge. But I can't remember which one it was. There's another one, by the way. You want another one that I want on Blu-ray, that I really want? Phantom of the Mall, Eric's Revenge. I want that on Blu-ray. A lot of people don't know what that is, but I really liked it back in the day, and it was kind of a fun, cheesy little film. If you've never seen Phantom of the Mall, look it up. It's like Phantom of the Opera, but in a mall. Cover for Nightlife. I got to get to like a good store that has that. You have the DVD. Oh, that is so awesome. I don't have that on any version. Not on VHS, not on DVD, not on anything. I used to have the VHS of back in the day. There was something about that film that I just really enjoyed. Ilsa, same here. I would kill to have those Ilsa films on Blu-ray. A nice, decent set, like Emily, like a really cool set of them. It deserves it. I do, Darren. Actually, I have the first volume of that Giallo one, So Deadly, So Perverse, and I have his Mario Bava book as well. Oh, actually, no, the Phantom of the Mall isn't a comedy. Actually, it's a legit like mall killer. Basically, it's about a guy named Eric, like much like he's usually named Eric. The Phantom is, and kind of sketchy people at a mall. And he ends up getting, like, supposedly dies in a fire, but he haunts them all, and he has had a girlfriend. Definitely worth checking out. Ilsa's your holy grail. I like you more now. I love the Ilsa films. I used to. Are any Cthulhu movies? Are there any Cthulhu good ones? Any good Cthulhu movies, guys? Like actual good ones? H.P. Lovecraft's hard to like really like get a good grasp on. Hate the Andrew Lloyd Webber music for Phantom of the Opera. Well, it's kind of his thing. He did that's what he did. I remember seeing like one of the performance of Phantom, like the chandelier comes down, and you can, it's kind of cool. Um, but I understand. I wasn't big on the movie. I thought like the thing was man the movie. I can see that. Well, Doom Asylum is more satirical. So I know some people went in and got like Arrow's Doom Asylum, and expected it to be like this serious slasher film, and Doom Asylum isn't. It takes itself very lightly. It's like to the point where every character literally is a trope. Well, as you know, I was a theater geek, and I was going to act. That was my thing. I spent a lot of time in theater and basically and in a lot of different classes in speech and classes and movement stuff like that. I don't have any musical talent, but I love musicals. Phantom of the Paradise, Grease 2. I like Grease 2. Me and Drew Barrymore. Doom Asylum's fun. It's really fun. Uh, I like quirky musicals. I like Carrie the musical. I like where it went. The first iteration of Carrie the musical was a bit rough. It got there. Heather's, again, good musical. Great songs in that, and probably a better interpretation of the character in the musical. Like gets deeper to the character. So I do like musicals. I know they're not for everybody, but they're definitely for me. Glee, yeah, Glee is a different one. I mean, like Glee is not hardcore musical. Well, it is in a way, but it's not for everybody, and it does have there's a youth element to it that probably if you don't like that type of stuff, will not work for us. And you gotta like Ryan Murphy's style of humor as well. Musicals are fantastic live. It's the best way to see them. Uh, but I overall I liked Glee. I liked some stuff that it wasn't always good. I love Shock Treatment Dale. It's one of my favorites. Uh, I know all the words to the songs from Shock Treatment. I do a duet, every one of them. I think Shock Treatment is highly underrated. I do. I do like opera a bit. I, if you ask me what my favorite is, I don't know right now. But sometimes we have a Alexa upstairs, and sometimes when I'm home and I'm like just working or just working out or trying to get some writing done, I'll put on some opera in the background. I just get Alexa to put on some random stuff. Another lover of Shock Treatment, like Wagner. William Tell. Still like Lone Ranger, right? Yeah. So as you can tell, I have no musical. I have no tone, like to my voice. That's the truth. I wish I did. My dad is like musically gifted, like seriously musically gifted. And like I was overall, like I was like acting was my thing, and writing. But here's the thing: if you're at a party, my dad can sing excellent. He's a great singer. Uh, that never came down, right? If you're at a party and you, I don't know, play an instrument or you sing, that can make you popular with the ladies, right? Do you know what you can't do? What doesn't work at a party? You can't just whip out acting skills at a party. That's that's not a that doesn't set the hearts aflutter. So I was very jealous of the musically talented, gifted people out there, especially as a teenager. My dad's an excellent singer. He fronted a lot of bands, uh, but dad is like can play pretty much like if he picks something up, he can play it. You know, guitar. Then he's after a few years, they said, "Oh well, we need a." It was out of the bands, and they said, "Oh, we need a bass player." He hadn't played bass before. Picked up bass, started playing bass. You know, he's Some people are just have that. I think he has played drums actually. Uh, I don't think of many instruments that he probably hasn't played. I think so. Like I don't know for sure, but from what I know, my dad has been like is one of those people that's just gifted with music, and I'm not. I'm so not. Your brother's in a band and Gris didn't pay any attention to them. Tell these shit. Ah, so that's it. I'm sure that. Here's the thing though. If your brother went to a party and picked up like a guitar, and started playing around on it, some girl somewhere is gonna say, "Oh, cool." If I go and I start and I just get up and and I say, friends, Romans, countrymen, lend me your ears. Yeah, it's not gonna work. Particularly with that one, actually. But I don't know. I was probably more Sophocles than Shakespeare for a bit. I went back and forth. I am a drama geek, ain't I? Oh, yeah, that's the thing, right? I can't sing. So if I can't get the girls before I sing, there's no way I can get them afterwards. Did I pick them? Do you want to know the truth? Like, were you really? Uh, I, I find myself pretty clueless, especially when it comes to the opposite sex. Did I date? Yes, I did. Did I date a lot during college? Sure. Uh, did I normally have any? Was it me? No. I'm pretty clueless. Um, I'm not a ladies' man. I never have been. I've never been a guy that did pickup lines. I've never been the type that was really out there type of thing, and was super like it's party time. No, I was shyer. I was more I'm not shy. I just listen. I would sit back and I would listen and see what people were like, and then I'd figure out what I could say, what I wanted to talk about. But no, I was never a good pickup guy. So, but I'm sure you've watched me on here enough to know, yeah, that's true. I was very lucky. And that for some unknown reason, girls back then, when I was younger, when I was ancient, uh, I guess, like something. Uh, but I have no idea what. What is, see, I'm not sure if that's like an insult or not because I haven't seen Pledge Night. But is it a ladies' man in Pledge Night? Because that's totally not me. The Aaron story. Guy at the party playing with the dog. There's the Aaron story for you. Don't get me wrong. I had fun. I love college. I had fun in college. But let's just say I'm happy to be in the place that I am right now. Anthrax. Oh, that's right, though. It's the lead singer, right? On a much lighter music note, the excerpts are great in Disconnected. Uh, they seriously are. I actually was going to play a bit of their music, then I realized I don't need to like dance with the monetization any more than I already have, right? It's so weird, like looking down. I'm looking down here because all your messages still aren't coming up there. Um, but I see myself, like on a slight delay. Kind of weirds me out. But anyway, I have been on here for 100 minutes. This has been one of my longer videos. Wow. So guys, later on tonight on my Instagram and on my Twitter, on my Patreon, I will snap a pic to let you guys know what our video is gonna be about tomorrow. I got a couple ideas. I'm actually looking at something that's giving me an idea, so we'll see. We'll see if it goes there. Thank you so much, brother. This has been for me. This has been anyway a great video. You guys are awesome. This is the movie library. I'm Aaron. You guys are the movie club. You guys rock. And you kept this video going for like for 100 minutes. So now I'm gonna go upstairs and have some tea, and hopefully watch out for the ghosts or whatever the hell has been making noises outside of my house. Oh, my charmed Dale is charmed. My Instagram is charmed 007. So that's CHARMED 007. And I will see you soon for another 31 days of live horror.